Theranos, once hailed as the future of blood testing, saw its $9 billion valuation plummet to zero in mere years. How did such a brilliant dream devolve into a colossal fraud? Elizabeth Holmes, once the darling of Silicon Valley, was heralded as the next Steve Jobs. Yet it was all a magnificent deception. This failure stemmed from structural causes rooted in charisma and organizational psychology, patterns still repeated in modern business. What truly lay behind the concealment of the truth? In this documentary, we delve deep into why expectations were betrayed, who overlooked what, and what crucial lessons it holds for today. Now, let's uncover the full scope of the Theranos collapse. The main feature will further explore the allure of charisma and the blindness of organizations. In 2003, at the age of 19, Elizabeth Holmes dropped out of Stanford University to found Theranos, a blood testing startup. Her proclaimed vision was a revolutionary technology, performing over 200 types of tests with just a few drops of blood from a fingertip at an affordable cost. This idea was enthusiastically embraced, promising to make healthcare accessible and fundamentally transform human health. Young, passionate, and intelligent, she was lauded by the media as the next Steve Jobs, instantly attracting widespread attention. Many investors, captivated by her charisma and vision, poured vast sums of money into Theranos. The device, dubbed Edison, which claimed to perform all tests with just a few drops of blood, seemed like a dream technology. She became a Silicon Valley prodigy, and within just 10 years of its founding, the company's valuation reached $9 billion. A partnership with Walgreens, the largest drugstore chain in the U.S., appeared to be proof of the technology's practicality. An era of hope and prosperity seemed to dawn. Theranos' initial success was fueled by Elizabeth's overwhelming charisma and her masterful presentation skills. She epitomized the Silicon Valley success myth, skillfully stoking expectations for the future. She invited prominent politicians and military figures to join her board, leveraging their names to build credibility for the company. While they lacked medical expertise, their social influence added significant prestige to the company. By maintaining strict secrecy and concealing technical details from competitors and the media, she preserved an aura of mystique and diverted suspicion. Investors and partner companies believed in the story of a revolutionary future, rather than demanding detailed technical verification. The contract with Walgreens was a groundbreaking endeavor to establish Theranos testing centers in stores across the nation. Up to this point, everything appeared to be smooth sailing. Elizabeth continued to weave a dream narrative that everyone believed. Behind the scenes, however, technological development had made no progress whatsoever. The Edison device fell far short of its promised capabilities. Blood test accuracy was poor, results were often inaccurate, and they were not at a level usable for actual patient diagnosis. Whistleblowers brought these facts to management, but Elizabeth completely ignored their concerns. To conceal the truth, she enforced strict non-disclosure agreements on employees and severely prohibited external contact. Technology that couldn't meet expectations eventually had to be faked using other testing equipment. Blood samples taken from patients were secretly tested using commercially available Siemens machines. This decision became the critical turning point that transformed Theranos from mere overpromotion into outright medical fraud. But here, a trap no one noticed had opened. It was the profound darkness of the organization itself. The biggest reason Theranos' deception continued unchecked was its charismatic leadership and the blind faith of those around it. Elizabeth Holmes' strong will and vision held absolute power, suppressing any dissenting opinions. She appointed authoritative figures to the board, using their prestige to deflect criticism. They did not understand the technical details. Inside the organization, groupthink ran rampant. Critical opinions were dismissed as heresy, and healthy debate was lost. Massive investments became sunk costs, and investors couldn't break free from the conviction that Theranos was destined to succeed. Furthermore, the Concord effect strongly influenced them, a psychological desire not to waste the money and time already invested. Secrecy and authoritarian management prevented the truth from leaking out and completely stripped away the internal checks and balances. As a result, everyone became obsessed with the illusion that Theranos would surely succeed, continuously overlooking dangerous signs. In 2015, Wall Street Journal reporter John Carreyrou published an article exposing Theranos' misconduct. He collected testimonies from multiple whistleblowers, making public the fact that its technology was completely non-functional. The article caused a huge ripple, and Theranos deceptions were successively brought to light. Federal investigations began, and suspicions of medical fraud grew strong. Walgreens also terminated its partnership. Investors began cutting their losses, and Theranos' corporate value rapidly plummeted to zero. In 2018, the company was dissolved. Elizabeth Holmes and the former president were indicted on fraud charges, and in 2022, she received an 11-year prison sentence. The collapse of Theranos teaches us how dangerous charisma, secrecy, and blind faith can be. Even in modern startups and large corporations, a healthy critical spirit, transparency, and ethics are indispensable for true innovation. Why were expectations betrayed? Because the disparity between vision and reality was not confronted, but covered with lies. Who overlooked what? Investors captivated by charisma, board members blindly adhering to authority, and management concealing the truth. All bear responsibility. The lesson for today is to constantly ask why, and to have the courage to listen even to inconvenient truths. The quality of decision-making will significantly differ between those who know the Theranos failure and those who do not. This story clearly demonstrates how the passion to pursue a dream can, with one misstep, transform into a dangerous delusion.